Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. I hope all of you are doing well. You are putting your sincere efforts and dedication towards civil services examination. Before I begin, just to tell you that if you're preparing for civil services examination 2024, it is very important to go through the important newspaper and headline and even editorial that will help you in both specifically prelims and mains examination. So through this video session, which is a daily news and editorial analysis, I'll be covering important news and editorial for the day that will help you specifically for the civil services examination and many other government examination that you will be appearing for. Today's news is dated 5th of October. We'll see the details. And before I begin this session, I'll give you the highlight and the glimpse of the news that I'll be discussing with you for today. For today, we'll see the important news that is about the fifth new Indianization list which was released by the Ministry of Defense. The second important news talks about the government easy procedures and exemptions for the recovery rule for the aviation sector. The third important news talks about the green shipping plan that Government of India has actually come up with. The second last news talks about the GST on online gaming. There has been some changes in rules and regulation. Now we'll see the details, what is coming and where the part of the rules that has been amended will definitely help on the part of the sectors. And we'll conclude this session with the editorial that talks about women quota, specifically in Panchayat and Parliament, how the things will call for more vocal part of the women empowerment. So these are today's discussions topic, and we'll start the session with the detailing of the news one by one. So the first news is about the new defense Indianization list. This is specifically the fifth Indianization list that is brought in by the Ministry of Defense. इससे पहले गवर्नमेंट ने फोर्थ लिस्ट ऑलरेडी रिलीज की है. आई टेल यू द अदर लिस्ट ऑल्सो. मैं आपके साथ थर्ड लिस्ट पे डिस्कस करूंगा कि क्या क्या चीज़ें उसमें रिलीज की गई है. सो दिस इज द फिफ्थ पॉजिटिव इंडियनाइजेशन लिस्ट दैट वाज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री अफेयर. वी कॉल इट DMA. तो DMA ने प्रिपेयर किया, जिसको डिफेंस एक्विजिशन काउंसिल ने अप्रूव किया. And after the final approval, the inductions for three forces. I mean, specifically, it will go for Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, and Indian Army, right? So this is how the Indianization process will work for all the three services. Now, what is the roadmap of Government of India in this context? Ministry of Defense ने कुछ specific बातें कही हैं, और अगर Defense Minister की press release की बात करें, he said that the fifth Defense Positive Indianization list has 98 आइटम्स. जो टोटल आइटम्स इस बार इंडक्ट की गई हैं वो 98 आइटम्स होंगी. दिस विल बी फॉर ऑल द थ्री सर्विसेज, इंडियन एयर फोर्स, राइट, नेवी एंड द आर्मी. सो दिस विल इंक्लूड द थ्री फोर्सेज दैट विल हैव अ स्टैगर्ड मैनर ऑन अ स्पेसिफिक टाइमलाइन. नाउ स्पेसिफिकली फोकस रखी गई है कुछ स्पेसिफिक आइटम्स पे. बिसाइड द इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेटफॉर्म्स, वेपन सिस्टम सेंटर, munitions are something that will be developed, and this will call to translate. And next 5 to 10 years में ये augmentation की जाएगी कि जो हमारी forces हैं they are better than any other forces. Make in India initiative at its full just, और टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर के थ्रू TOT, the transfer of technology के थ्रू सारी इंडियनाइजेशन प्रोसेस इंडिया में ही की जाए. Now, what are the part of items of Indianization that government has actually come up? ये list है, मैं आपको list में एक एक चीज बताऊंगा. What are the list that is there? See, the actual part that is there, first is the infant compact vehicle which will be there. Then we have the kill system for artillery, test equipments, T-90SK tanks, radar, armor, Mi-17 helicopters हैं. As I've told you, इसमें तीनों forces जो हमारी हैं उनमें cover है, तो सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ चीज़ें include की गई है so that the part of the augmentation for the military forces, the defense forces are on a higher side. So rural gravity will also be there. Mi-17 V5 helicopters and MiG-29K aircraft will be there. So these are the actual 98 items. I mean, the 98 items are not listed here. इसको list करना possible नहीं है. तो मैंने आपके लिए कुछ important items जो government actually Indianizations के through procure करेंगे उसके नाम ही आपको बताएं. Now there was a third list that was also released by the Government of India. So I'll tell you what are the details there. So this was a third positive list of Indianization. 780 articles थे, and line and replenishment were there, and this project will help in reduce the import dependence of the DPSUs. harness the design capabilities of domestic industry. If you see India's domestic industries, we already have a collaborations. अगर collaborations की बात करें, India and US has a collaborations, and even India and Russia has a collaboration. Other than this, India and Israel has a collaboration. So these countries are working to augment India's overall capabilities in terms of defense forces. And position of India and design leaders and technology will be there. Dedicatedly government of India ने मेक इन इंडिया मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के थ्रू राइट खास करके डिफेंस सेक्टर में काफ़ी ज़्यादा जोर दी है और कुछ स्टेट्स में लाइक उत्तर प्रदेश have been the state where major factories for AK-47 was already established, right? And during this meeting, Swalamban 2.0 was also there. So this was a plenary session where 2 day seminar were there between the Navy Innovation and Indianization Organization. We call it NIIO, right? So this is an important organization which take care for the part of modernization of Indian Navy. So Defense Minister ने 76 challenges launch किए हैं. This was the 10 Defense India Startup Challenges which was there, and DSIC with 10 prime innovations in defense excellence. उसके साथ साथ IDX जो कि इंडिया और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के बीच में कोलैबोरेशन है, that was also devised up, right? So this is specifically the advanced collaborations in technology that is taking care between two countries. I have already made a discussion to IDX in our previous session also. If it is asked in examination IDX कौन से country के बीच में collaboration है, the correct answer is India and United States. Now moving ahead with other news, that is Center Ease Aircraft Recovery Rule. Central government ने कुछ recovery rules में, compensations में, and even for the part of things they have eased out the recovery rules, right? So Ministry of Corporate Affairs ने exempt किया है aircraft engine and other part of certain insolvency and bankruptcy provisions that is impacting the Go First airline revival prospect. We have seen that airlines, specifically Go Air की बात करें, Go First is a vertical of Go Airlines. So they are not doing well. There have been insolvency cases और cases को report की गई हैं Government of India के साथ. Now what is the exact part that is there? किस किस provisions में exemptions दी गई हैं? The government has brought the sections 14 की अगर बात करें, this is section 14 where the exemptions was actually brought in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 में लाई गई, which would not be applicable for the transition arrangement under the part or convention of the protocol leading to aircraft, aircraft engine, airflames and helicopter. So the implementations of section 14 will be exempted as of now. Government ने notification में कहा है that these transaction of the insolvent aircraft, engine and helicopters will definitely help Go First and the Wadia group which is owned for the airline. The first 54 aircraft which is there, इन्होंने अभी recently they have inducted also. So their fleet has a lesser, only aircraft can sought for deregistration of the asset over the pending dues. So whatever dues are pending, they cannot just escape away from them. They have to make a payment, but it can be little delay considering the fact with the paucity of the money that they're having. Now, अगर कुछ mix package की बात करें and things that has been working out with the Indigo, you can say Go First, right? So Go Air, I mean precisely to correct, this is Go Air, not the Indigo one, right? तो Go Air की अगर बात करें, what the things has been there, a new provision that was there, insolvency plea भी इन्होंने file की है. This endangered led to Jet and Go. पहली भी Jet के साथ ऐसे cases हुए where they have not been performing well. And this moratorium is applicable on the transition related to aircraft and engines, right? For more details, you can refer to this picture. You can take the screenshot for the revision purposes. Now, insolvency declarations की अगर बात करें, this was definitely made to the National Company Law Tribunal (NCLT) के जो provisions हैं, उसको approach किया था Go First ने, and they have blamed that the US engine marker Pratt and Whitney has been troubling to them, and the airline said that it was forced to ground half of their fleet because of the engine that was there by the problem with the manufacturer that is Pratt and Whitney. तो उनके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिफेक्ट्स की वजह से उनकी जो खास करके एयरक्राफ्ट थी वो होल्ड पे रखी गई है. इनमें द प्रिंसिपल बेंच ऑफ द नेशनल कंपनी लॉ ट्राइब्यूनल इन दिल्ली, दे हैव एडमिटेड द फर्स्ट वॉलंटरी प्ले और उन्होंने स्टार्ट की थी इंसॉल्वेंसी की केसेस को. सो दिस इज समथिंग नॉट एट अ सडन हैड स्टार्टेड, दे हैव ऑलरेडी रिपोर्टेड दिस केसेस विद NCLT, राइट? The tribunal appointment IRP while the suspending the board, putting moratorium at the debt ribbon and financial obligations. So this is something which will come out. Government अपने end से कुछ चीजों में relaxations दे रही है, but when it comes to the debt, this has to be paid, right? तो जो पूरी debt है वो pay करनी mandatory हो. Another news, that is National Action Plan for Green Shipping, something important for General Studies paper 3 as well. So Ministry of Port और Shipping ने basically National Action Plan for Green Shipping release किया. This is an eco-friendly practices that will incentivize for the low emissions. उसके साथ साथ जो इंडिया की maritime sectors हैं, that will be helped, right? So I mean the entire coastal India has the important ports which is there. And even if you look at the Indian maritime sector, I mean, this is again helping out. अगर Indian maritime sectors की बात करें, this is actually helping. And उसके साथ साथ गवर्नमेंट ने अभी national logistic policy भी रिलीज की है. This is for 2020. So this will further augment with the national action plan for the green shipping. Now India maritime sectors की अगर बात करें, there have been vast coastline. इंडिया की जो total coastline है, this is for almost close to 7,500 kilometers. This is the part of the physiography that we have. The country has 12 major ports, around 200 notified pioneers or international or immediate ports हैं इंडिया के पास. India maritime sector contributes significantly, about 95% of the country trade or 70% by value. So this is again factually important. अगर बात करें total contributions की, तो 95% in terms of trade and 70% in terms of value. India maritime sector will play a pivotal role which will contribute around $20 trillion. So $20 trillion के आसपास contributions होनी है. This is the timeline by 2047. Now this is again important for you. I mean आप check कर सकते हैं किस तरह से क्या क्या sectors में क्या contributions है Indian maritime industries की. So number of ports, as I've told you, 12 is the major number of port. 200 non-major ports हैं. Contributions by trade 95% है. FDI 100% तक allow की गई है. This can be a question in the prelims examination also. These are the value by trade 63%, right? So these are the government document. ये authentic data है by the Ministry of Shipping, उनके annual report 1819. Now vision of Sagarmala is again important. अगर Sagarmala की बात करें, if you're talking about the maritime sector, Sagarmala is an important aspect. So even if you can use this particular diagram in mains, civil services examination. First benefit of the Sagarmala is reducing the cost of transportations, domestic cargo, and optimizing the modal mix. Second है optimization of time and cost. Third is lowering the logistic. We already have the National Logistic Policy 2020 that will definitely help out. Improving the sport competitions. और उसके साथ साथ जो proximate discrete manufacturing clusters हैं उनमें भी help करेंगे. So these are the broad 4 visions of the Sagarmala projects. Now, the National Action Plan for Green Shipping, that was actually there by the government. First and foremost, government has prioritized the eco-friendly practices, right? See, if you talk about the eco-friendly practices, there are certain incentives which will be also there for the low emission ships. This is one point. The other important aspect, this is the second, that is positioning India maritime sector at the prosperous and environmentally responsible future. So these are the 2 important action plan under the green shipping promotions, right? And this initiative will help the green sector जहाँ पे doubling of major ports की अगर बात करें, if you see at the ports capacity that India is having, so non ports में अगर बड़े sectors में we have 12 and छोटे में 200 हैं, तो इनको और बढ़ाने में मदद मिलेगी. Substantially waterways will grow, increase cruise passengers, sea wayfarers, expanding the power and lighthouse tourism. So definitely it will call for increasing the part of tourism as well. The progressive is fueled by the transformative like Sagarmala project and digitalization initiative, right? So these already have been talked about. अगर आपसे सागरमाला के बारे में पूछा जाए तो डिटेल में बता सकते हैं what are the aspect, and significant feature has already been discussed with you. Now moving ahead with the other news, that is GST on e-gaming and regulation, something important that industries expert have warned that the online gaming industries जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट ने recently 28% GST की बात की है, उस GST के चार्जेस को खास करके रिटर्न या फिर यू कैन से द रिवर्सल विल बी देयर बाय द कंपनीज एंड, बट इसमें काफ़ी हद तक नुकसान होगी जो कंपनीज होंगी उनके लिए. सो like companies that is operating as of now, you must be aware of the big companies that is coming at the advertisement also, the Dream 11 that is also sponsored with the team India. Premier Mobile League, MPL भी कहते हैं, and Winzo. These all are offering the cashback scheme on a foot on the bill of the GST reductions of 28%. जो भी रिडक्शन की गई है गवर्नमेंट के रीसेंट रूल के मुताबिक उनमें इनको मदद मिलेगी एंड दे विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग सम ऑफ द कैशबैक, राइट. तो कंपनीज लाइक ड्रीम 11, मोबाइल पार्टनर्स एंड अदर इज एक्चुअली प्रोवाइडिंग अ कैशबैक एंड द इंडस्ट्रीज फॉल आउट कैन बी सी. जो नए प्लेयर्स होंगे, द न्यू एंट्रेंट्स, इफ यू सी जो नए प्लेयर्स हैं, द न्यू प्लेयर्स विल हैव अ प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज they cannot cope up with 28% of the cashback. तो कहीं ना कहीं मार्केट में डिस्टॉर्शन होगी और कॉम्पिटिशन और ज़्यादा हाई होगी. Now the Union Finance Minister has brought a bill. Recently changes किए गए हैं GST के laws में, and what are the changes that were there in the GST laws? So 28% allow की गई थी for the part of the face value specifically for casino. This is the one where the amount was increased for horse racing and third for online gaming. Already industry player ने इसमें exemptions की बात की थी. Initially they said that 18% should continue, but government has said that on face value there will be only 28% rate that will be applicable. The amendment pertain to insertion of the provisions जो कि Schedule 3 में GST के एक्ट के अंदर provisions mentions है, and accordingly casino, horse trading and online gaming the 28% of the rate will be applicable. Now, moving ahead with the editorial for the day that talks about women quota from Panchayat to Parliament. What are the important components that you need to look upon when it comes to the women reservation bill? We'll see the discussion to detail. So first we'll see 128 amendment bill जो कि recently Parliament में pass हुई है. Impact of reservation, a certain future and the conclusion part. Now recently Parliament ने women reservation bill को allow किया था, they have passed, and this provide 1/3 reservations to women in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly. I think this is clear to you. We have already made a discussion to this. और इसके बाद इंडिया में जो प्रेजेंट रिजर्वेशन की खास करके वुमेन रिप्रेजेंटेशंस की बात करें, दिस इज ओनली 15%. कुछ कंट्रीज में ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, but for African countries it is close to 60% also, but in India this is only limited to 50%, right? So reservation for women in electoral bodies will increase and जो governance process में women की participation है वो भी काफ़ी हद तक बढ़ेगी. So this will call for definitely women empowerment. अगर आप women empowerment की बात कर रहे हैं, you're writing anywhere either in essay, you can definitely quote about this. Now 128th amendment, I think most of you must be aware, this was an amendment that was brought in और delimitation की exercise government को करनी है, after which the complete readjustment of the seat will take place, right? Now this will apply to the seats for ST and SC in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. Lok Sabha में और State Legislative Assembly में applicable होंगी, but as of now for 2024 it is not going to be applicable. इसकी applicability के लिए 2029 तक wait करना mandatory होगा because the census process has to be completed. Now impact of reservation, definitely it will have a positive impact. अगर society में बात करें, women empowerment की बात करें, this will have a positive impact. How? Because beyond representations, women reservation will call for yielding a substantial benefit. कुछ research paper ने भी इसको highlight किया. There was some research paper which has actually highlighted. So there was a research paper which was by Israel Duflo and Rabindra Chattopadhyay. He's actually working in Jharkhand, Ranchi district में he is there. So he's been working for the part of मनरेगा workers और उनके benefit के लिए. But इन्होंने survey किया West Bengal और राजस्थान में, and they found that women leaders were more inclined towards the public goods. Encouraging the women participation in the panchayat and the meeting is again fruitful or in the positive note, right? So this is what they have highlighted. But कुछ study में भी इसके contradictions हैं by Raw and Ban. They have revealed that the performance between the male and female in southern India is like there's no difference as such. Panchayat में they were more significant, but to some extent there was not that drastical change that was reported. So this is a part of the positive side and the negative side. We are mostly looking at the positive side of the coin. Now uncertain future है, इस चीज को ध्यान में अगर रखें. The impact of women reservation is not as straightforward, right? A design for women reservation in parliament is required, and this changes has been brought after 3 decades, right? 3 दशकों में ये पहली बार इस तरह से गवर्नमेंट ने डिसाइड किया है. और वुमेन की रोल खास करके लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस आफ्टर अगर बात करें 74 और 73rd अमेंडमेंट के बाद, दिस इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट हैज बीन देयर फॉर द रिजर्वेशन. The design for the women reservation ideally has been informed 30-year experience in the local governance. Now, to conclude the part, increasing women representation is very important capacity building में. उसके साथ साथ it will also help to have empower the women and even it will call for more participations may be help होंगी women की in the part of governance, right? उसके साथ साथ women will have a reservation that will succeed in the part where the national commissions for women will also have to take into consideration and recognizing the unpaid labors shared with the household with the vital for the gender growth and reform. So definitely there is always a positive side. We need to negate the negative side. और पॉजिटिव साइड के साथ हमें आगे बढ़ने की जरूरत है. द पॉलिसी एडवांसमेंट कैन बी देयर बाय द गवर्नमेंट बट कंसिडरिंग द फैक्ट ये सारी चीजें वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट को प्रमोट करनी चाहिए, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ you can conclude your answers. Now moving ahead with the answers discussion for yesterday questions. जो कल के सवाल थे उसके पहली ऑप्शन है बी, like the statement is correct, right? Statement 3 is correct and these are the other details. The United Nations climate ambitions and there is a headquarter and this statement was also correct. The China, US and India has collectively account for 42% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. Now for second question, the correct option is C. Vizhinjam के बारे में मैंने आपसे पूछा था. It is in Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram district. It is currently lack deep sea container terminal rely on the port of Colombo, Singapore and Salah. उसके साथ साथ money of the revenue that is estimated is 2500 crore. So both statement are correct. So do participate. आप में से कई लोग participate कर रहे हैं. Most of you are not participating. Participate in the question answer series. This will help you to get a strong foundation for the upcoming prelims examination. Now today's MCQ for practice, जो पहला सवाल है, that is about the Armed Force Tribunal. You have to look into the important statement, that is the Indian Military Tribunal established in the Armed Force Tribunal 2007. IFT consists of judicial member and administrative member. It cannot be challenged in any court of the law. जो decision होती है Armed Force Tribunal की उसे कोर्ट में challenge नहीं किया जा सकता. So this is what all the statement you have to consider and choose the correct option. And you can write your correct answer in the comment section down below. The second question is about the following statement: growing over the Vibrio fungus infection in India. It is potentially a lethal bacteria found in the aquatic habitat. During the potential danger, the virus can relatively unknown in India. The bacterium grow warm in 20 degrees Celsius. So this type of question is pretty important for the prelims examination although. तो participate करें और अपने correct answer हमें comment section में ज़रूर बताएं. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, admission and program, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for stay connected.